we go. Most people are packed up this morning. It's about 7:30. So that's the Bluff campsite. And we're off now to what they call Hukatere Lodge. So I'll see you out on the beach. There we go. Tide's still on its way out, so we've got heaps of time today. 30 Ks. You might see a few little people just down there ahead of me. And it's going to be pretty easy. Like yesterday was 28K, but we had a bit of a hill to climb at the beginning. So there we go. We're all packing up this morning. And a pretty unthreatening looking rain cloud came over, and when everybody had all their stuff all over the ground, it decided that it'd just rain heavily for about 5 minutes. I was pretty lucky. I always pull my tent down last, so I pack up everything in my tent, so I was fine, just had to wipe it down. Health-wise, or how am I feeling after my first full day? I'm actually a little bit sore around the hips, and I did just tweak something in my right glute. I was a bit worried yesterday. I thought it might seize up, but it hasn't. So today's just pretty easy. It's just beach walk and really bland. Like we had the island that I showed you yesterday, halfway point, and then at our camp. Today we get nothing like that. It's just straight, bland beach the whole way. So I mentioned there I'd have a bit of a chat today about what I'm looking forward to on the TA. And obviously I've ticked a couple of those little boxes already. Obviously touching the sign at the start point, and just getting to meet people from different countries from around the world who are doing this as well. I'm not here to make friends or anything. Like if I end up finding somebody that hikes at a similar pace and we get along and we do a fair bit of the TA together, so be it. But I did hike a little bit yesterday with a guy Mike from Alaska. We should have did the first half, and I found that little log on the beach, which I think was the only log on the whole beach, to sit on for lunch, and he came over and it was pretty bland at that point, so we just plodded along together, didn't say much for a while, and every now and then we'd have a little chat and a laugh. He's a great guy, he's a fisherman, and he's the one that actually helped me get my Garmin going properly and get my water filtering system going properly. So he's done the Appalachian Trail and through hikes over in Spain. He just sleeps under a tarp. He's one of these sort of ultralight guys. I don't know how he's going to get on in the South Island with our New Zealand sandflies, so that'll be interesting. And he thinks once he gets going, he'll be doing 45, 50 kilometre days. So we'll make the most of Mike's company now, because there's no way I'm going to be doing 45, 50 kilometre days. But yeah, he's the first sort of interesting person I've met. Obviously, finishing 90 Mile Beach, it's just going to be the first section finished, so that's something I'm looking forward to. And the next thing on my sort of list is going to where the Treaty of Waitangi was signed. It's pretty controversial over here in New Zealand, and I know there's a bit going through the Parliament at the moment where they're looking at reviewing certain things, and some people are happy about it, some are sad or pissed off about it. But it'd just be interesting to stand in a location where such a historical document was signed, and going over to Russell, which is a nice little area near where the Treaty of Waitangi was signed. And when I get further south, it's going to get a little bit nostalgic. Getting over and doing the Tongariro crossing. I've done that a few times, and I used to do a lot of snowboarding up Mount Ruapehu. Tongariro crossing goes between Mount Tongariro and Narahoe. I've climbed all three of those mountains in the past and walked around the craters, so it'll be cool going there, and then just walking through to the Wanganui River. I mentioned yesterday I used to live in Wanganui. I've been wanting to do that Wanganui River kayak for years. I booked twice. I can't remember why I had to cancel the first time, and the second time my grandfather passed away, so I had to cancel. And I really want to see the bridge to nowhere. I had a flatmate who was right into jet boating and went on a trip once, a group of jet boats all the way up, and I thought the bridge to nowhere went over the main river, and I wondered why they're all hopping out of the boats and going for a walk. And the guy I was with, he was going further up the river. I thought, I'm going up the river to see this bridge. Unbeknown to me, they were walking into the bridge. It's off one of the tributaries. So after all that, I still never got to see the bridge to nowhere. So yeah, looking at that will be really good. And that's with Richard Barnes, who I mentioned as well yesterday. So looking forward to hiking with him. And then we'll get down to Tararua Ranges. I was born in the Kapiti Coast, so the Tararua Ranges are our local mountain range, and I lived there till I was 20. So when I was younger, you know, went a few hikes up in the Tararuas, wider Waiwai huts on the Te Araroa and the Parawai Lodge. I've been to both of those huts in the past. So going there and then walking down the Kapiti Coast and down into Wellington, it'll just be a bit nostalgic for me, and I look forward to that. But the real big thing is South Island. Man, I'm so looking forward to that. I'm glad I'm doing the North Island first to get my fitness up for the South Island, because it can be brutal, but Queen Charlotte Sound sounds really nice. I haven't done that. Richmond Ranges, I don't know whether to put that one in the I'm looking forward to or I'm not looking forward to books. But then we go to St Arnaud and head into Nelson Lakes, and I've done the Travers Circuit in Nelson Lakes, and the Te Araroa is actually part of the Travers Circuit, and it's just magic. I stood there in a place called Angeli's Hut, and I was only about 27 when I did that, and I thought, far out, like, I'm going to remember this moment for the rest of my life, and I certainly had. And when I started looking at the TA and whether I would or wouldn't do it, I actually got a picture of Angeli's Hut because it's such a magical moment for me when I was there, and I made that my screensaver. So if I had any doubts, I'd look at the picture on my screensaver and then think, no, I've got to go back. And that's a section where we'll do the Blue Lake, which is the clearest fresh body of water in the world. I haven't seen that. And then going over Waiau Pass, and from my experience, I've done Heafy Track, I've done Lake Waikare Moana, I've done Tongariro Crossing, I've done a few things around New Zealand, and Nelson Lakes to me is the most beautiful part of the whole of New Zealand. So I might hang around a bit and see if I can get really good weather if I can for that section. And then just generally the rest of the South Island, it's just magic. So you know, getting to that highest point, Stag Saddle, obviously that'll be another box ticked. Tekapo, there's a Church of the Good Shepherd there. I'm not sure what day I'll get in, but if I was able to get into Tekapo and Church of Good Shepherd and do a service here, that'll be another bucket list tick. And just heading down, obviously that last section where I know you come over a bit of a hill before a bit of a quarry and you get your first look at Bluff. If I make it that far, that's something I'll really be looking forward to, because I know the end's close. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I might take a few shots today, but really this is my view looking down the beach, and I don't think it's going to change all day long. So Hukatere Lodge, I think, is the destination today. I'll show you what that's like when we get there. See ya. One thing I forgot to mention just regarding health, obviously everybody worries about weight loss or looks forward to the weight loss on the trail. I was quite interested, just in my PT studio I've got a full set of body composition scales, so the day before I left I actually jumped on the scales and did a full body composition. So I thought it'll be interesting when I finish just to do a comparison, not just on weight, but it looks at your muscle mass, your bone density, and fats all around different parts of your body to see, you know, I'm coming from a predominantly an office working position where I've been sedentary, sitting down at a desk, just to see what impact that has by not just looking at weight, because there's far more important things to look at than just pure weight in terms of a healthy body. So we'll see how we go from an office worker perspective, just getting off that chair and hiking Te Araroa. We'll see what it does to the body. I'm sure it's all going to be good things. So all these little lumps in the sand, that's where all those shellfish are. You're walking down 90 Mile Beach with nothing else to stare at, you notice these things. I was hoping to see the wild horses. This is just on the road into the campground. Well, here we go at the campground. I've got myself a tiny little room. I think I said at the start of the day, 30k flat walking down the beach, it'd be easy. I was definitely wrong. First 20 k's was okay, but man, that last 10, that really took its toll. There's an older gentleman here, he's in his 70s and he's done heaps of hiking in the South Island, New Zealand. He's from Blenheim, and he says, I've done so many 30+ kilometre days in my life and I never get blisters, and even he's got blisters going down 90 Mile Beach, so I guess that's telling me something. I've got off lightly, a couple of blisters on my little toes and one just starting on my big toe and that, but I've got the blister pads on really quick just to get them under control. And I've looked at some of the blisters on some of these hikers. I feel sorry for them, they're pretty nasty. So yeah, I'm glad I've got off as lightly as I have. This is the first time I wandered into camp today, and that's why I've got a room, I've got Wi-Fi, and my work emails went crazy. Had a person inquiring for work through my little business, so I've leapt straight onto that, and yeah, I think I've managed to pick up another client, which is really nice. Seemed like a lovely lady to work with as a client, which is always a bonus. And it was so good coming in and seeing those wild horses as well. That was something I really hoped to see. And today went a bit like the day before. I think I found the only log in the whole stretch of beach today to sit on to have lunch. And a guy, Joe from UK, plonked himself down next to me, caught up to me. And we started having a chat, and Joe's only 23. And he was telling me he's playing a game of lacrosse, got a ball in the back of the head, and actually put him into a cardiac arrest. And it was, you know, he was lucky he was in the location he was. There's plenty of doctors and that around, and he got to the hospital really quick. And he just found out that he's got a rare heart condition. So he pulled back his shirt and showed me, and under the skin, inserted under his skin on his chest, is a defibrillator. So, you know, he says I've got a bit of comfort having that there. If my heart condition kicks in and I have another cardiac arrest, that'll jump in and basically save me. And I just thought, wow, man, like, what an inspiration. Like, you think your life's tough, and then you come across somebody like him. So he's actually doing the hike. He's going to be an every inch hiker, and he's trying to raise some money as he goes to help raise some funds for this research into this medical condition he's got. I'll try and put a link in. I'll have to chat to him tomorrow and find a link to his channel in case people want to watch him go as well. So another interesting character after Mike the Alaska fisherman yesterday and Joe today. So yeah, look, I woke up this morning, my body was still pretty sore from the day before, but you know, I got through it okay. And you know, I got here today, I thought, man, how am I going to get up and hike tomorrow? But I've already booked myself a tent site in Hukatere. I can't do it in 2. There is an option to stop at 14k, but I'll stop there for lunch and try and get the whole 31k down the beach, and I'll tick off the 100k mark tomorrow and get this 90 Mile Beach ticked off. So we'll check in tomorrow. I've managed to catch up on all the work. It's about 9:15, so I'm about to go and filter some water just to be safe and get myself my teeth and that cleaned, and just get packed up ready to leave early in the morning when I wake up. So I'll check in tomorrow. See you then. Bye.